Hello, hello, hello. I'm Ed Jones II, and I'm the founder of the Beyond the Field program and an experienced player development professional. This podcast is here to bring exposure to the player development field with the goal of creating generational impact in athletics and other surrounding areas. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you taking time out of your day to spend time with me on this platform. In today's episode, we will discuss player development. It's like a player development 101, if you call it that. We will cover the definition of player development, the enigma of player development, and the basics of player development after this ad by our sponsors. But before we get to the ad, I want to give a shout out to Jonathan Jones with Get Paid with Podcasting. Jonathan has been just a godsend to help me with this podcast. And this has been a passion of mine, a dream of mine the last couple of years. I love listening to podcasts. And he's come along and helped me set this thing up and get this thing off and running. So if you want to do podcasts, if you're interested in podcasting, I will follow him, Jonathan Jones, J Speaks. He has great material and it will just make you very comfortable in the passion that you have. So shout out to Jonathan Jones. Thank you so much. All right, now time for our ad by our sponsors. This podcast is brought to you by the Beyond the Field Program, LLC. Are you interested in creating an impact for your athletes, interested in player development, but don't know where to start? Beyond the Field is your one-stop shop for all things player development. Go to btfprogram.com to purchase or download player development resources. Email info@btfprogram.com for consulting and other player development needs you may have. We want to help you create generational impact, the impact that you want to see in the world. Once again, visit btfprogram.com for more information and follow us on Twitter and IG at BTF_program. That's BTF_program, and Facebook, BTF program. One word, BTF program. All right, so let's get into the show. Today's topic is, what is player development? What is it? It's player development. I'm starting to see it grow in college athletics, professional, different sports. I want to know more about it. Well, you found the right place. There are probably people listening who know what player development is. Some who think they know what player development is, and some listeners that may just know me, but don't understand what I do and why I'm so passionate about it. Whoever you are, I am thankful you have chosen to listen and be here with this podcast. My goal is for you to have a foundational understanding of player development by the time the show ends. So here we go. Welcome to Player Development 101. I define player development as the enhancement of the student athlete and their experience through holistic and intentional development. I tell student athletes and recruits that player development is like the chocolate protein shake that they take after a workout. The shake doesn't and can't substitute the workout, but it does enhance it and can bring the results of the workout to higher levels. Let's break down the definition a little more. The definition for enhance is to increase or improve in value, quality, desirability, or attractiveness. We could break this down for an entire episode by itself. It has been my desire and honor to improve the value and quality of the experience that the athletes will have. For me, it has been on a college level. So I've created ways to increase the benefits of the experience, what the student athlete has earned, through their athletic ability. So they get this college experience and they earn a lot of things because of what they've been able to do. The institutions I have worked at have been great schools with excellent academics, great facilities, elite coaches, support staff members, administration, and an incredible alumni structure. The student athletes earn this exposure to the beneficial elements of competing, and that's what they get from the jump. So just, signing the dotted line, whatever you want to call it, that's what they get from the jump. But even with all that, those benefits, my thought, even with the positive, has always been, can we take this to the next level? How can we make this the best 4 to 5 years of their life? That they can say the best 4 to 5 I've had in my short life, young life, really happened beyond the field. And this is where I added a holistic and intentional development piece to the definition. Holistic is defined as the idea that the whole is more than merely the sum of its parts. If you are listening to this podcast, you have a tug on your heart, in your heart, that sees people as greater than what they can do or the position they hold. This is critical in this role. These athletes have been great at their sport for literally most of their life. So they identify deeply with their athleticism as it has been one of the most attended to qualities they have. We can help enhance their experience by helping them see that they can grow as an overall person. I'll talk more about the holistic piece when I speak on the basics of player development. Now, when we talk about intentionality, it can be defined as deliberate and purposeful. This is where I've seen the greatest moments of player development happen. Once you know the student athlete, what they're passionate about, and what they want to achieve in their life, you're in the driver's seat of impact, my friend. The driver's seat. This is when you can be strategic with the benefits of the university already afforded them and couple them with local companies, professionals, and other things to add value to the experience this athlete has earned. With that breakdown, I hope that you have a better understanding of the original definition of player development that I gave you earlier, which is the enhancement of the student athlete and their experience through holistic and intentional development. All right, let's talk about the enigma of player development. Player development looks different for every team in every sport who has someone on staff who is responsible for player development. Now, I got to give a disclaimer. Some professionals have the player development title and help with athletic development. This podcast and this topic is about player development strictly dealing with non-athletic development. I can only truly speak to what I know, and that's college football. The reason it looks different at every school is because the role services the needs of what the head coach believes is necessary for the program. And now, if you're not familiar with college football and head coaches and their salary, a lot of these head coaches are the highest paid public employee in the state. So they got a lot of power. This is understood by everyone that takes a player development role. Now, with that said, this can be great. This can create great opportunities to develop if a head coach has a heart to develop and allows his staff to have that type of impact on the team, providing resources for the player development department, whatever that may be. It could be staff, time is a big one. Just, it can be a good thing if your head coach is allowing that. Now, how does this look different? You know, you may say, well, how does it look different at different places? I have called other player development professionals to see what their roles entail and have become accustomed to the discrepancies of responsibilities with this role across athletics. In my career, I have been blessed with opportunities to truly develop the players through intentionality. I've also had experience where that wasn't the case. There are a lot of tasks that get placed on a player development professional, as sometimes it could be a catch-all position. What I mean by that is everybody in a sense can come and quantify what they're doing. The strength coach can say, hey, these are, the numbers that gone up in the weight room. Academics can say GPAs are going up. Coaches can say, hey, this statistical whatever went up. A dietitian could say, hey, so-and-so's lost this much weight or gained this much weight. And then I'm coming in there, in my experience, hey, so-and-so, he's maturing, right? But what does that look like? And so it's been my experience that I could be a catch-all because it's like, well, what is player development? What does busy look like for player development? Like he's just building relationships, whatever, with people not knowing other things. So it can be a mystery. Player development can be a mystery when trying to get a description of what it is and the roles that are involved with it. This is one of the main reasons I am so passionate and have created resources to bring some middle ground to this role. It's an incredible role. I have done a lot of tasks and you get to help everybody. I love helping. I'm a team player. This role also needs a definition because it can be impactful. It can be truly impactful. I've seen it. It can impact what is being done on the field. So we talked about the mystery of player development and talked about how it is inconsistent across the board. So there it is. There's a problem. There's a problem. Guess what? Whenever there's a problem, you got to bring a solution. Here's my solution. I call it the basics of player development. Now, I'm gonna give you some of it. I can't give you everything because I have to feed the fam. And if anybody or program wants more, I'll come and share in greater detail. Let's talk, let's figure it out. But here are the basics of player development. There must be a plan. Number one, there must be a plan to take care of the student athlete holistically. This is very necessary if we are to stick to the definition of player development. In the Beyond the Field program, this portion of player development is called personal wellness. In the personal wellness model, we want to take care of the athlete in the following areas: financial, mental, physical, spiritual, and social. We want to take care of those 5 areas to help this student athlete enhance their lives in the time that they're under our influence. Secondly, there must be a plan to take care of the local community. This is a great opportunity to teach a student athlete responsibility and the impact they can have in the community, local at their university, and back at home. In the Beyond the Field program, this portion of player development is called community impact. We impact the community by focusing on the following areas: children, the environment, health, and hunger. Lastly, there must be a plan to help the student athlete once their playing days are done. The athlete's future should be a significant piece of the player development model. In the Beyond the Field program, this portion of player development is called career development. We focus on the following areas of career development: externships, internships, and career placement. There it is. Those 3 are my solution to the enigma of player development. The basics of player development, as I said earlier. If you want more, let's connect. Hey, I would love to provide consulting to help you in your program. That concludes the topic for today. We're talking about player development 101. Now I'm moving to this segment. This segment is my former athlete shout out of the day. Want to give recognition to those that I've coached or led who are doing great things beyond the field. First up is my guy, Ian Turanski. When I began high school coaching in 2010, Ian was the first athlete I met. Summer camp, he's the first one there. Dad dropped him off. He was there and he was ready. Ian was punctual, an incredible student, full of energy and effort, a great teammate, and a tough guy. Currently, Ian is a science teacher and head esports coach for Southwest ISD in San Antonio, Texas. Also, shout out to my man, Ian, as he just got married. Congrats and blessings to you and your wife in your marriage. So I want to introduce something that we will do every time we have a podcast. After discussing the pod's topic for the day and the former player shout out, we will end the show with the question of the day. You can send in your question or questions through our social media accounts or email your question of the day to info@btfprogram.com. I am excited to answer our first question of the day on the next show. Well, that's all for today. Thank you for taking time to listen today. Go follow Beyond the Field on Twitter and IG at BTF_program and on Facebook at BTF Program, one word, BTF Program. Tag us on social media and let us know what you learned about player development from today's show. What did you learn about the basics? What did you learn in your player development 101 course that you took today? Let us know. Go visit the website, btfprogram.com, and check out the resources and blogs. I need you to subscribe to this podcast on the platform you're listening to. Please rate and leave a review of the show. It would mean so much to me. Share this podcast if you believe it will benefit someone if it would benefit someone to learn more about player development, share it. Next episode, we'll talk about player development, its future, its trends, and the data. I look forward to the next podcast. Thank you for tuning in and spending your valuable time with me. God bless you. Have a great day. Go out and create generational impact. Don't wait. Create that generational impact today. Thank you.